Hey, welcome back to another episode of the She's Making an Impact podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Ngom. Today we're doing some on-air coaching. This is one of my favorite things to do. It gives me a chance to get some really quality time with our Activate students and dive into their business and for them to get to work with me one-on-one. And you get to listen in on the conversations to see how I would coach them in certain situations. If you want to learn more about Activate and check out our group coaching program, just go to rachelngum.com/activate. And we're here with Alexandria Cox. How are you, pretty lady?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I've got my coffee. We have a sleeping baby. Life is good. So tell us a little bit about you and your business, and then how can I support you?
So, as you know, this is my second round of Activate, and it's been a whirlwind. Last time I was working on a mindset business, and recently I am switching to digital marketing,
Mm-hmm.
and the alignment is crazy. Like when I started realizing like this is something that I really want to do, I almost like was resistant to it at first. Like, no, I don't want to switch it up again. I don't want to start over again. And then when I started actually diving in, the amount of fun that I'm having with it, the books that I used to like read and like read with almost like this is distracting me from what I'm really supposed to be doing. I just need to learn this. Now I'm reading them and I'm like it's like reading a thriller novel. I'm so excited about reading them.
That's
Even down to
awesome.
I was just thinking about like the my furniture and then my background now. I've been trying to sell that furniture for like 4 years, and then like the other day I was like, let me clean out my second bedroom. Where am I going to put this furniture? I really need to sell it. And I was like, wait, this is actually a perfect place for me to put in the backdrop, because I was wondering like what can I do for the, and so like everything is worked out. Has even down to like the small details, the way in which it's aligning has been like so eye opening to the fact that this is what I'm meant to be doing.
That's exciting. I love that. Cool. Okay, so we have about 30 minutes together. What do you need from me? How can I best support you?
So since I'm just starting, one of the things, like I was trying to rack my brain yesterday with like what can I ask that would actually benefit me long term, and I was thinking like almost in the eyes of like the I was rereading the 30 days interviews and summits from Russell Brunson, and I was wondering
Mhm.
almost if you did restart from scratch and like you had no audience, no money, where would you start and why? Like how would you target your first 30 days,
Mm.
even like 60 days?
First 30 to 60 days would be spent doing two things: creating content, a lot of it, value added, high quality, really great content. And also, were you on our last Activate coaching call where we talked about creating your Dream 100 list?
I was not, but I am in the middle of reading Traffic Secrets.
Okay, so I would read Traffic Secrets, but I would go back and watch that recording of that call because we break down like super specifically where to find people, what to look for. I would be more intentional about leveraging other people's audiences, and I would reach out to people who had even bigger audiences.
Okay.
And I would be more intentional too about relationship building. So I think about all the people that I did, like I interviewed to be on my Facebook Live show before I had the podcast. I would have like seen how I could really support them and then see, do you know anyone who I would be a good fit for? Um, so just again, like being super intentional about building relationships and getting in front of other people's audiences.
Okay.
That's what I would do. That's a really good question. I love that you asked that.
Thank you. I was thinking, I was like, what do I need right now? Like, I was like, well, I need to know what I need to start with, because
Yeah.
it's obviously I don't have anything to focus on that is money making right now, because obviously it's not. I can't say like, oh, this is making me money. I don't have anything that's making me money right now, other
Well,
than
that's also what you need to make sure you do is you have an offer that's going to be generating income ASAP.
So actually, that leads me into my next question.
Mhm.
When you were first getting started, like how did you start doing the getting done for you clients for Pinterest?
It was so random. So I was creating content for my network marketing business and putting it on YouTube. And one of the videos that I was teaching the people in my network marketing company was how to use ManyChat for your business. And for whatever reason, somebody saw that video and then reached out to me and she goes, "Can you manage my ManyChat for me and my Pinterest?" Because she saw another one of my Pinterest videos. And I was like, sure. So I just created a package like randomly, and she ended up being my first done for you client. Um, and so that's how it started. So literally just created a package and was like, all right, here we go. But it started through creating value added content around that thing to get known. And so I asked in Activate, like, how many blog posts or videos or whatever your content, like whatever content you're creating, how many have you done since January? And if you haven't done at least once a week, then it's going to take you so much longer to build. The more content and the more you put out there, the faster you're going to grow.
Okay.
If you do once a month, you're going to grow at a snail's pace. If you do once a week, you'll grow like an okay pace. If you can get like, shoot, I know like Russell Brunson talks about doing his marketing secrets podcast. For him, he thought like, what could I do consistently? And he's like, I have a 15-minute commute every day where I'm in my car. So he started a podcast where 15 minutes a day during his commute, he has his phone and he's literally just talking into his phone for 15 minutes. And it grew really quickly. And so it doesn't have to be like perfect. It doesn't have to be the best content you've ever created in your life. It does need to be you adding value to people, helping people, and the more you do it, the faster you're going to grow.
Okay. Perfect.
I mean, this is not perfect. I'm at my parents' house upstairs, like hiding from a kid, and but there's people watching them. My parents are down there watching the kid and the baby. But I'm like in a recliner chair. Like I'm not in a perfect studio. You know, I don't have a perfect backdrop and I don't have makeup on. I'm in a hoodie, but I'm able to show up, be here for you, add value to my audience. So, I mean, it does never have to be perfect, but you just have to show up and show up consistently.
Okay. Perfect.
Be
Well, not
nice if I
perfect.
got like a shower in or something, but nope, didn't have time.
So what was your first money-making offer in this business? I know like you talk about the book that crashed your website for the previous one, but like in this one,
Mm-hmm.
what was your first money-making offer? Like you mentioned the done for you client, but like an offer that you
Mm-hmm.
actually put out there and thought through.
Pin with purpose.
Pin with purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was the first thing that I launched. Um, I also had people ask me when I was doing market research of like, what's your hourly rate if I wanted to hire you for an hour? And so, kind of like off the fly, I was like, okay, so I need to create an hourly rate and I need to create like a coaching package. So, I was able to do like hourly coaching for people for $197. Like, when I look back, I was like, oh my gosh, that was so cheap. Um, but Pin with Purpose was the first thing I launched mid-September. So I started the business mid-August. Pin with Purpose was already launched mid-September.
Okay.
And that's, again, was it perfect? No. None of it was perfect. The sales
But how
page
did you
was
come up
not
with
perfect. Like nothing was perfect.
how did you come up with the concept for it though? Because how
Market
long did you put it?
research. It's through market research that I was just talking to my ideal client and seeing what are they struggling with? What do they need? What's the gap? And so I saw a lot of people, they wanted to learn like Facebook, Instagram, a lot of people teaching that. But what did my ideal client want? They wanted lead generation. They wanted it to be easier. They wanted it automated. They were busy. And I was just like, are you using Pinterest? And for me, that was the thing that came so easily because I was I was just getting so many leads from that platform that I didn't even really like think about that being my secret sauce, but just asking them and they're like, no, why would I use Pinterest for business? Like they didn't get it. And so when I told them I was able to generate over 20,000 leads for free, they were like, tell me more. Like how did you do this? How could I learn more? And so that just through talking to my ideal client, and you got to make sure you're doing that. Like for you, what I would do is start at the beginning of the Activate course content. Like start at module 1, start with the market research, talk to your ideal client, see what do they need. What's your secret sauce? What's your superpower? How can you fit in the gap to really support them and take them to where they want to go?
Okay. Okay. How did you find the people for your market research? Was it just because I know you were in a mindset in like a mastermind group almost with your
No,
coach? No.
No. So, okay. So I had a coach, but I wasn't in a mastermind. I hired to work with her one-on-one. So at that point, I didn't join her mastermind until January. So I started working with her in August. I posted on Facebook, who here is an entrepreneur, has a business? Comment below. And I had like 15 to 20 people comment. Most of them were network marketing, not all of them. And it was like, comment below and so I can see how I can best support you. And if I can find the post, come August, time hop will show me what the post was. But it was very, very simple. Like, who has a business? Comment below so I can support you or we can support each other. And every single person that commented, I reached out to them and I sent them a direct message and said, hey, I'm reaching out to some successful entrepreneurs and just doing like a 15-minute interview. Do you have like 15 minutes of your time where I can ask you a few questions about X, Y, and Z?
Okay.
So it was very much like bootstrapped. I didn't have thousands of people that I could reach out to. I wasn't a part of a mastermind with a bunch of my ideal clients. It was like, who here that I'm already friends with could I reach out to?
Okay.
And some of the market research too, it was like some of my friends from network marketing because they were in a business. So it was like, all right, Megan, you're like one of my best friends and you're a business owner. Can I ask you some questions? And she ended up being one of my first Pin with Purpose students. I gave it to her for free. She was one of my best testimonials. She crushed it. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I love these questions. You're making me reflect. This is fun.
So you launched because you did the market research. So how long from when you first started talking, like doing Pinterest and then talking about and creating the content because you said that you got your first done for you, I think you said in September, and then you did the August was when you launched, or did I do it backwards?
August is when I launched the business.
Okay.
September is when I launched Pin with Purpose. Sometime in there, like it was definitely before October. So probably it was like at the super beginning that someone reached out to me for done for you services.
Okay. So when did you start doing content on it on it? Like you said that you'd start with creating content and value. When did you start with that? Was that also
Immediately. Like as soon as I started the business, I was like, all right, market research, need to figure out what they want, need to create a website, need to have a freebie. So those were like my main focuses: website, freebie, need to create content that's adding value to my ideal client. And so the first 3 blog posts that I launched my website with, and my website was not perfect, and I launched it probably within a week. Like it was just, again, messy action. Like you just have to act fast. You can't be sitting on it, thinking on it. It's going to take forever if you do. So it was like, all right, I need to get a website up. It's not the prettiest thing I've ever done, but it's done. And I took 3 blog posts from my fitness blog that I was like, this is kind of related. So one was like personal development books or something. Another one was on morning routine. And then there was another one, I forget what it was. And I took those 3 and I was like, all right, we're just going to start with 3 blog posts and put it on. And this is what we're going to start with. And then it was every Monday, I'm just going to create new content.
okay?
But don't overanalyze, don't overthink. You're in flow. Like you're doing what you're meant to be doing. So I want you just to act fast.
Okay, perfect. Where are we on time? Oh, there's plenty.
Yeah, you're doing good.
How far after? So is Pin with Purpose being obviously like your established offer, your like middle of the road, like your flagship offer.
Yep.
And Activate being your elevate or like your higher up offer.
Yep.
When did you make the connection to make Activate?
It took a while. So here's the thing, like you're going to figure out what you need to do next by working with your clients. And so I did Pin with Purpose. And I was like, all right, what do they need next? And at the time, it was like, I wanted to teach them the market research and like all of these things because they were still pretty newer entrepreneurs ish. I launched something called the Lead Generation Lab. And that was a month to month group coaching program. It was $197 a month for, it was like they could join at any point, and every month it was something different that we would talk about. And yes, that was the, so I launched Pin with Purpose September. I relaunched it in December, and then I launched the Lead Generation Lab shortly after that. It kind of fizzled out. It was not like the best thing I've ever done. But I was able to help people for the couple of months that we had it going, and then we relaunched Pin with Purpose in April, and that's when we did our $50,000 launch. Was that April. And then in December, through talking with all of our Pin with Purpose students, I was able to see, what do you need next? And literally, it's like market research with your current students. What's the next step for you? And they wanted to learn like how I did webinars, how I created courses, how I did the offers, like all of it. I was like, all right. So I put together all the modules for the Impact Blogging Academy, and I brought it back to them, and I was like, this is what I'm thinking that we're going to do. Is there anything else you want to see included? And they're like, this sounds amazing. When are you going to launch it? And they were already like, people were excited about it before we even did our challenge. So December, we did a challenge for the Impact Blogging Academy. And then my goal after that, we helped our students. By the way, some of those students now are making six figures. Like, it is so cool to see them. And they were like, that was a pivotal point in my business, was joining the Impact Blogging Academy. So cool. So then I was going to take the Impact Blogging Academy and do the same thing I did with Pin with Purpose and make it evergreen and have a webinar. So I had that whole process up and was starting to make sales. And what I realized is when people were going through creating their course, creating their offer, launching all of this, they need coaching. And so in my head, I'm like, this might not be the most profitable decision or the easiest, because an evergreen webinar is pretty easy. Like, it doesn't take a lot of work, but I'll be able to impact more people and really support them. And that's when I decided to launch Activate and get rid of the Impact Blogging Academy and have it be a group coaching model where I took them through the same modules, the same course content, but they got the private coaching, my support, plus everything else that you're getting within Activate. So it was not an overnight process. Is the long way of saying that, but as nothing is with business. But like, as you talk to your ideal clients and you figure out what do they need, and then always just in your head, like, what's the best thing how can I add more value? And so the first time we launched Activate, it was just me, and there was no private coaching. And as I got to know our students, I was like, how could I help them even more? And that's when we're like, could we have private coaches? Like, could we have people in there actually supporting them? And I was like, what if we had someone in there that was helping them with Facebook ads? What if we had someone in there that's helping them with copy? What if we had someone in there that's helping them with WordPress and with tech support? And I was like, this is the coolest thing in the world. And I was so excited about it. And so as you're creating your offer, it's never going to be perfect the first time you do it. But as you're working with your students, you'll be able to see, like, what else do they need? Like, what else do they need? And then we added Telegram. So I'm able to help you with personal development, that kind of thing. Again, the first time I launched it, was it like that? No. But over time, it gets better. What else? Haha.
With personal development, one of the things that I'm finding a lot of resistance with, and it may just be a somewhat background. One of the things I'm finding resistance with is that a lot of the people that we bring up, a lot of the obviously models that we follow, are male, speaking to male avatars, or even, and it's hard to break it down, but like also white female speaking to white female avatars. So that's a point of somewhat resistance. How did you, with the male, like, because I know you're a fan of Tony Robbins, you're a fan of Dean Graziosi, how did you bridge that gap for yourself to get it to, if that mindset even actually affected you?
That was never a thing for me. It was like, I saw them do it and I thought if they could do it, I could do it too. I see you being a Black female being able to lead like a revolution of so many people and helping so many women, and just standing up and owning your power. I don't see it be like, I want you to see it in your head of like, this is an opportunity for me to really stand out and help and support more people. So I never thought like this is a male dominated industry or this is a white woman dominated industry or whatever you might think, you know. I see it as there's opportunity here for me, and there's opportunity for me to be able to help the person that I want to help.
Okay, so maybe it was the way in which I phrased the question, and those were all great points that I hadn't thought about it from, but it's the idea for me, like mindset wise, when I'm learning it and when I'm hearing it, like even listening to like Underdog Advantage by Dean Graziosi,
Okay.
when he speaks about it, a lot of people he talks about, it's like I almost can't relate to it because it's like, oh yeah, they did it, but they did it because they had this advantage that I don't have.
Hmm. Do you have someone who is similar to you that has a disadvantage that's similar to yours?
Yes.
Because I would look at them, but also keep in mind Dean Graziosi grew up broke.
Mhm.
You know, like, so it's different. Like, you have different skin colors, so there are different disadvantages, right? Between, and he's a man, so there's that too. But like, I think it's helpful to find someone who had this similar disadvantages that you perceive yourself to have. And so if there is a Black woman out there that's crushing it, go see what she's doing. So someone that I have in mind is Tiffany Montgomery. She just hosted the Millions conference that I attended. I can't wait to listen to the recording because of baby. I was not able to attend the whole thing. Rachel. Let me find her. Um, Rachel Rodriguez. So this is, I think that's what her last name is. This is her on Instagram. She just had $1 million month, crushing it as a Black woman in the online space.
Okay.
Um, there's more that I follow, but if you follow Rachel, she posts about a ton of Black women that are just doing really well. So it kind of like will lead you to a rabbit hole of finding mentors that you're like, she did it, I can do it too.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you've obviously seen me over the last almost 12 months now.
Yes.
What would you say have been my successes and my struggles from an outside perspective?
Ooh. Successes was seeing you at Activate, and after that, at our live event, after that, just like take off. And like you were just so focused and you kept posting in the group and you were like doing your thing. You've gotten quiet, it seems, like over the past couple months. I don't know. In my head, maybe.
Mm,
Um, and then I see you with this new thing, and I hope she's not gonna take too long. Like, I hope you're not gonna overanalyze it and get in your head and get in your own way. Because that's typically where I see people struggle, is they get in their own head and they take a long time to get the offer up. They take a long time when in reality, like, I want you to move.
okay.
Like, take that messy action.
Okay.
You did that after our retreat with the first business, so I want you to do it with this. Don't get in your head, don't overanalyze, just move.
Okay. All right. I think that's pretty much that. That was extremely helpful. I think that's pretty much everything.
Yay! Cool. Well, where can people connect with you?
They can connect with me at Alexandria Taylor Cox Live on Facebook.
Cool. Do you have a free offer yet?
I do not. I'm working on that.
Okay. So as soon as we have it, you'll be posting about it on your Facebook so people can grab it. You're amazing. Thank you for being on our on-air coaching.
Thank you. Bye.